Delta Airlines has announced it will discontinue its non-stop service between Austin-Bergstrom International Airport and Midland International Air and Spaceport. The final flight is set for November 9, 2025, ending a short-lived but important link between Austin's tech hub and Midland's energy sector. For travelers, this means fewer options and more complicated journeys. What was once a quick non-stop flight may now require layovers or long drives. The cancellation highlights the tough choices airlines face in balancing community service with financial realities. As we dig deeper, it's clear this decision wasn't made lightly. To understand Delta's move, let's talk about load factor, the percentage of seats filled with paying passengers. Airlines need high load factors, usually above 80% to turn a profit. The Austin-Midland route hovered below 60%. With fixed costs, like fuel and crew, empty seats mean lost revenue that can't be recovered. For Delta, consistently low passenger numbers made the route unsustainable. Even with the best intentions, airlines are businesses first. When a route loses money every flight, it's only a matter of time before it's cut. That's exactly what happened here. So why did Delta keep the Austin-Midland route running for over a year despite losses? The answer: airport gate strategy. At busy airports like Austin, gate access is precious. Airlines sometimes operate unprofitable flights just to maintain their rights to a gate, a use-it-or-lose-it scenario. Delta likely used the Midland route as a placeholder, keeping its options open for future growth in Austin. But there's a limit to how long losses can be absorbed. Eventually, persistent low demand outweighed the strategic value, prompting Delta to cancel the route. Now, Delta is ready to redeploy those resources elsewhere. The cancellation is part of Delta's broader network optimization strategy under CEO Ed Bastian. Delta constantly analyzes data to ensure every route is profitable, cutting underperformers and reallocating resources to stronger markets. The Austin-Midland and earlier Harlingen cuts show this approach in action. By focusing on efficiency, Delta strengthens its core network and invests in growth where demand is highest. For Austin, this means more flights to destinations that matter most to travelers. Delta's Austin-Midland route was introduced with much anticipation, officially launching in April 2024. The airline saw a unique opportunity to bridge two of Texas's most dynamic economies: Austin, a city rapidly transforming into a national tech powerhouse, and Midland, the beating heart of the state's oil and energy sector. The route was designed to serve business travelers, with multiple daily flights scheduled to make quick, convenient connections possible for professionals shuttling between boardrooms and oil fields. Delta's strategy was clear: tap into the growing demand for direct flights between these two cities, both of which were experiencing economic booms in their respective industries. The airline hoped to capture a lucrative share of the business travel market, betting that tech executives, engineers, and oil industry professionals would fill the seats. The goal was to create a seamless link between Austin's innovative tech scene and Midland's vital oil industry, making it easier for companies to collaborate and for workers to move efficiently between projects and meetings. For a brief period, there was optimism in the air. Early flights saw a mix of hopeful business travelers, some working on laptops mid-flight, others networking in the aisles. But as the months passed, it became clear that the demand Delta had counted on wasn't materializing at the levels needed to sustain the route. Planes often departed with too many empty seats, and the anticipated surge in business travel never quite arrived. Despite the initial excitement, the numbers told a different story. By the summer of 2025, Delta's internal reviews showed that the route was consistently underperforming. Load factors, the percentage of seats filled, remained stubbornly below 60%, far short of what's needed for profitability. In August 2025, Delta made the difficult decision to announce the route's cancellation, setting the final flight for November 9, 2025. The news was met with disappointment from some frequent travelers, but for most, it was a reflection of the tough realities airlines face in a competitive market. The rapid rise and fall of the Austin-Midland route is a vivid case study in how quickly airlines must adapt to shifting market conditions. Even routes that seem promising on paper can disappear almost overnight if the expected demand doesn't materialize. Ultimately, the story of this short-lived route is a reminder that in the airline industry, flexibility and responsiveness are key. No matter how much potential a new connection might have, it's the passengers who decide its fate. The biggest impact falls on travelers who relied on Delta's non-stop service. After November 9, 2025, Southwest will be the only airline flying non-stop between Austin and Midland. With one carrier left, competition drops, potentially leading to higher fares and fewer flight times. Travelers lose the flexibility and price checks that come with having multiple airlines. For Midland, it's a step backward in connectivity, especially for business and government travel. The cancellation also highlights the challenge of sustaining regional air service in Texas, even in high-growth markets. Ultimately, fewer options mean less competition and more uncertainty for travelers. Despite the Midland cut, Delta's commitment to Austin is stronger than ever. The airline is reallocating planes and crews to more profitable routes, not pulling back. In May 2025, Delta became Austin's second-largest carrier, surpassing American Airlines. It's opening a permanent flight attendant base and launching new non-stop routes to Denver, Columbus, and Kansas City. Delta is also increasing flights to San Francisco and Indianapolis, responding to where demand is strongest. With 30 routes from Austin, Delta is doubling down on what works, not retreating. For most Austin travelers, Delta's presence is growing and evolving. In Midland, the news of Delta's departure was met with a wave of disappointment and concern. For many residents, the announcement felt like a setback, especially for those who rely on the airport for business travel, family visits, or simply staying connected to the rest of the country. The airport is more than just a transportation hub. It's a symbol of Midland's growth and its connection to the wider world. As the news spread, travelers and locals alike expressed frustration, some worried about fewer flight options and the potential impact on the local economy. The sense of loss was palpable, but so was the community's resolve. But alongside disappointment, there was also determination. Local leaders, including Councilwoman Robin Poole, quickly addressed the public, emphasizing their unwavering commitment to the future of Midland's airport. They reassured residents that the city would not be defined by this setback. Instead, they saw it as a call to action, a chance to double down on efforts to grow the airport, attract new airlines, and improve services for travelers. City officials highlighted ongoing conversations with industry partners and stressed the importance of community support in shaping Midland's aviation future. Major renovations and expansions at the airport are already underway, with new terminal designs and upgraded facilities aimed at making Midland more attractive to both airlines and passengers. These improvements are part of a long-term vision to transform the airport into a regional hub, capable of supporting more flights and better amenities. The city is working closely with Southwest Airlines, its largest carrier, to maintain and expand service, while also reaching out to other airlines to fill the gap left by Delta's exit. City leaders and airport officials are actively courting new carriers, determined to prove that Midland is a strong and growing market. Meetings with airline executives are ongoing, and the city is making the case that Midland's economy, driven by energy, business, and a vibrant community, can support more air service. The loss of Delta has only strengthened their resolve to bring in new partners and ensure that travelers have the options they need. In its official statement, Delta apologized for the inconvenience to Midland travelers and framed the decision as a response to shifting customer demand and market realities. While the explanation was businesslike, it did little to ease the concerns of those affected. Midland's leaders understand that airline decisions are often driven by data, passenger numbers, profitability, and broader industry trends, but they remain focused on what they can control, making Midland an attractive destination for airlines and travelers alike. City officials are now reviewing market reports, analyzing travel trends, and brainstorming new strategies to strengthen the airport's position. They're working with local businesses, regional partners, and the community to boost demand and demonstrate Midland's value to potential carriers. The setback has sparked a renewed sense of collaboration and innovation, as everyone comes together to secure the airport's future. While the loss of Delta service is a challenge, it's far from the end of Midland's ambitions. The city remains optimistic, looking ahead to new opportunities and determined to turn this moment into a catalyst for growth and improvement. As Delta's final Austin-Midland flight departs, travelers are left reflecting on the end of a convenient era. For years, this nonstop route provided a vital link between two of Texas's fastest-growing cities, making business trips, family visits, and weekend getaways easier than ever. Now, with the last Delta plane lifting off into the sunrise, a new reality sets in for those who relied on this direct connection. With Delta's exit, Southwest stands as the sole airline offering nonstop service between Austin and Midland. This shift means travelers will have fewer options when booking flights, and the flexibility that once existed is now significantly reduced. For many, this change will require adjusting travel plans and rethinking how to get from point A to point B. As competition decreases, travelers should brace for the possibility of higher fares, especially during peak travel periods like holidays and major events. With only one airline operating the route, price fluctuations are likely, and last-minute bookings could become more expensive. The days of shopping around for the best deal or snagging a last-minute seat may be over for this particular journey. For Delta loyalists and frequent flyers, the loss of the nonstop flight means more time spent in transit. Many will now need to connect through other cities, adding hours to their travel day and increasing the risk of delays or missed connections. Others may opt to drive the 5-hour stretch between Austin and Midland, trading the speed of air travel for the flexibility of the open road. The convenience of a quick, direct flight is gone, and for business travelers in particular, this could mean longer days and more complicated itineraries. However, it's important to note that Austin's airport is in the midst of a major expansion, with new gates, improved facilities, and additional routes on the horizon. While the loss of this specific flight is a setback, the city's overall air service is growing to meet increasing demand. Delta isn't leaving Austin behind. In fact, the airline is reinvesting in the city, adding new routes and increasing the frequency of existing flights. As Austin's second-largest airline, Delta is positioning itself to serve even more destinations, giving travelers a wider range of options for both domestic and international travel in the future. The decision to cancel the Austin-Midland route was not made lightly. For Delta, it's a strategic move, one that allows the airline to reallocate planes and crews to routes with higher demand and greater growth potential. While it's a tough call for those who depended on the service, it's a logical step in the ever-changing world of air travel, where airlines must constantly adapt to shifting markets and passenger needs. For travelers between Austin and Midland, this marks the end of an era, a chapter closed on a once popular route. But for Austin as a whole, the future is full of promise. With Delta's renewed commitment and the airport's ongoing expansion, the city's skies are set to become busier and brighter than ever before.